black and white and the third color.
Already, numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one.
I mean, Trump said it from the beginning that he was going to do this. I think all of us just hope it was a negotiation ploy, which I still think it is, because it can't be long term, because it'd have devastating effect on the economy. When we get a price increase, if we can't absorb it, we have to pass it on, and that's what it amounts to. It's going to be a tax or a price increase, however you want to call it. It's a cost to us, and we'd have to pass it on. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
We're definitely getting a lot more testing the waters of domestic manufacturing. Just this morning I received an email from somebody we made shirts for 20 years ago that used to work with my father here. And they said, hey, we'd be interested in maybe getting into a little bit of small batch production again with you. Over the last probably 6 months since November, simply, we've definitely gotten a lot more interest in domestic production again. It certainly seems to be a hot topic in the industry. I think that there's got to be a cautious approach to how much business we bring into the facility. We certainly don't want to overload it and kick out the existing customer base that has been a steady with us. We all get excited with new business, but I think it has to be measured about how much we bring in. So that's going to be a challenge to sort of scale it.
We live and die by the cost sheet, which means how much does it cost to make a jacket, a fine tailored jacket. And when we look at manufacturing inputs, there are two main inputs. The first input is labor. The second input is materials. 70% of what we make here is labor. 30% is material.
The tariff situation, I think, has certainly created a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace. We feel a lot of pressure from China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, India. It's definitely a global market. We source right now from China 100% of our buttons because there is no domestic supply chain for American-made buttons. So there's no other option for me to go. The first initial 10% increase was combined with an 8% increase on the side of China. So my prices went up 18%, which basically translates to about a $5,400 per order extra charges in just buttons alone.
Policymakers understand really well headline risk. The headline hits, and whether it's an automated system that reads an institutional news feed and instantly executes a trade, or a human that sees what's going on, sees their portfolio needs to be rebalanced. It's the same reaction function. They're reacting to the headline. And that's what markets do. They price the present value of today's risk for tomorrow.
The U.S. has, deindustrialized. Over the last few decades, we've offshored a lot of our industrial capacity. If you look at sort of the performance of the working class, American, the best indicator for that is actually real median household income. I think what the president rightly recognizes is we need to shift back to being an industrial power. If we want to be a strong nation, we have to be a nation that makes things. And to accomplish that, you need a multitude of policies working together. And tariffs are one of those policies. And we've seen, throughout our country's history, effective use of tariffs to drive domestic production.